Go.
Greetings all, Shane Bruce, Restomod Daisy, and we've got an in-process review for you today. What you're looking at on the counter at the moment is our current project. It's a Daisy number 111, not a Red Ryder. We have finished up our stock set selection on it. Now we're in the process of assembling the power plant and conducting, once we get it all together, conducting our ballistics testing. Wanted to show you guys a couple things. This is the original plunger assembly and mainspring that was in the gun when it was selected for restomodding. Let me show you this, back that camera out. That looks like a straight spring, right? I mean, it looks like it should be perfectly fine, perfectly adequate, but watch what happens when you pull it off the plunger. That is a sacked spring. And sack springs are something you don't want in your gun. As you can see, it's obviously not going to roll straight. And as you can see when we install it on the plunger, it's got a lot of drag. So don't really know how much power this spring is losing because of the drag induced by the overworked and underappreciated mainspring, but it is considerable. Now, this is a plunger that we're going to install in the gun, and as you can see, that spring isn't sacked at all. This is a Cobalt 327 mainspring, and you'll notice some differences between it and the original spring that was in the 111. Better coil count, stiffer coils, more of them, more power. Now, the normal process here at Restomod is when we get a gun, a project like this, and we are working on it, we want to find out how she's going to run with three options. The Cobalt 327 mainspring. This is a new Red Ryder mainspring. This is what you would get in a Daisy that you went out to the big box store and bought. Something that's a current production gun. And when we compare it with the other mainspring, we see once again that it's got a higher coil count, but this is actually a little bit stiffer steel. So as we are testing the gun to see how it works, we will run through three spring combinations. This is a mainspring for a Daisy 499. I like these for the parlor plinkers that I've been obsessed with of late because they're a low power spring, easy to cock the gun. Great choice for a grandson, granddaughter gun because you don't have to beat yourself up to try to get the gun armed. The kid can handle the process himself once you've got him trained. So typically here at Restomod, when we're building a gun, we will conduct ballistics tests with the Cobalt high power spring if you're looking for a can buster. The Red Ryder regular spring if you just want medium performance, or if you need a light shooting gun, the 499. We'll establish what the baseline feet per second rating of each one of those power plants is in the individual gun it's going in. The other thing we do is we normally conduct receiving tests on used guns when we get them in. And that means we'll fire the gun with what it, we'll dance with what it brung. This is an example of a seamed air tube, which is common to the early 80s guns, until the seamed air tubes were replaced with the, let me grab one of these, current production air tubes. The seamed air tube was replaced with a seamless air tube sometime in the 90s or late 90s or 2000s. And as we take a look, we can notice that there are differences between the air tube that's wiggling. It has a notch in the top. That's where it was a rolled steel product, and that's a seam that's resulting. And then we have the seamless air tube down here, which is the current production air tube. There's no seam on the seamless tube, so you don't have any possibility of air loss during transmission down the tube to the BB itself. And then, of course, we will run tests with the overbore air tube. That is the one at the bottom of the screen is the 7/64 overbore air tube. The one at the top is the factory standard air tube. Ooh, let's see if we can get these all stacked up. And this is the original seamed air tube. There we go. That's pretty close. Close by Restomod standards. Good enough. So once we've conducted all that ballistics testing, and we're knowing what the gun's running in different configurations, then we can figure out if we're going to leave it a can buster or we're going to turn it into a moderate shooting platform, or whether it's going to be something else entirely, maybe a parlor plinker. I like the parlor plinkers right now because those are, I think, have an unrealized potential for indoor shooting, and I think a lot of our customer base has a problem with being able to shoot outdoors. So that's what we've got for you today, kids. Sacked springs versus non-sacked springs and power plant selection in your project or our project, depending on how they go. Let's slap this together real quick just to give you a preview of another video that's going to be coming out pretty soon, where this thing is actually up, running, and flinging BBs with great abandon. I'm really happy with the way that the stock on this unit turned out. There we go. The latest effort from Restomod Daisy on a curly maple custom stock Daisy number 111. That's all we've got for you today, kids. This is Shane Bruce with Restomod Daisy signing off.